Who's excited about today's video? Hello friend, it is Allison from Wonderlass.com, and today I'm going to show you how to plan a productive work schedule. We're talking monthly and weekly in just 4 easy steps. That way you can truly maximize your time and grow your business faster and more effectively. Because yeah, we all know that being busy doesn't equal being productive. I mean, I could spend 10 hours a day spinning my wheels on endless tasks, but that doesn't mean that I necessarily did anything that will truly move the needle in my business. Know what I'm saying? So by learning how to create a productive work schedule, you're gonna know exactly what tasks to focus on every single day. The right tasks, not busy work tasks. And learning how to create a productive work schedule in this video is gonna help you do just that. But first, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, then be sure to hit that lovely, irresistible subscribe button below this video because I do new videos every single Wednesday and you do not want to miss a second. Trust me. Also, make sure you hit the little ding ding bell next to the subscribe button because even though you hit the subscribe button, if you do not hit that bell, then there's a pretty real chance that you will not see my videos. That would be really sad. Okay, back to planning a productive work schedule in just 4 easy steps. Step number 1, you need to create your quarterly plan. And just as it sounds, this is something you need to do every single darn quarter. Every single quarter, you need to be sitting your butt down and getting clear on 1 to 3 main goals for that quarter. Whether that be 3 main projects, or 2 main projects with a main promotion, but you never want to pick out more than 3 main goals for a quarter, otherwise you are going to overwhelm yourself, spread yourself too thin, and it's going to be a big hot mess. I actually am really hot. It's really hot in here right now. And then once you decide on those 1 to 3 main goals for the quarter, you need to then break each of those main goals down into the teeny tiniest of little action steps. You need to write down every single thing that you need to do to make those 1 to 3 main goals happen, and then you need to start kind of plugging them into whatever planner or scheduler that you use. That way you've got a clear overview for every single quarter and you always know what 3 main things you are trying to make happen. And those 3 main things should tie directly back into your business plan, which I taught you how to do in the last video. So if you haven't created your business plan, you're gonna want to go on and do that first. Show you how to do it in the last video and then come on back here. Once you've created your business plan and once you've sat your butt down and you've gotten clear on the 1 to 3 main goals that you have for the current quarter, and then it is time to move on to the next step. Step number 2, plan your content calendar for the entire month. And this is something, of course, that you should do monthly. So here's what I do. At the end of every single month, I spend 2 days planning out all of my content for the following month. And because of my quarterly plan, I already know what the main focus or goal is for that month, so I can make sure that all of the content that I'm planning is in line with that main focus or goal. You never want to plan content haphazardly, just like, I think I'll make this today, I'm gonna make this today, and I'm just gonna randomly put out this blog post because it sounds fun. You want to make sure that there is always strategy behind the content that you're creating. So by creating that quarterly plan and getting clear on those 1 to 3 main goals, you can make sure that the content you create is in line with those goals. For example, if the main focus for the following month is to promote a particular product that I have, then I'm gonna make sure that all of the content I create is in line with promoting that particular product. I want to plan content that gets people aware of what the heck is going on. So during that 2-day period at the end of every month where I'm planning out my content, this is what I do during that 2-day period. First, I plan out any of the blog posts that I'm going to be writing for the following month. I'm not actually writing the blog post because that would take me forever. I legit spend 15 hours on one blog post sometimes. But I am coming up with the topics for each blog post and I am planning out which days I'm going to be writing those posts. Now, if you don't blog, that is totally fine. You're going to want to do this for the type of content that you do focus on, whether that be a podcast or videos or newsletters to your list. I also plan out all of the topics that I'm going to be doing for any Facebook Lives that I'm going to be doing for the following month. So I will write down the topic of the Facebook Live and on what day I'm going to do it. I also plan out what emails I'm going to send to my list and on what days. I typically send my weekly emails on a Wednesday, so on my calendar I'm gonna write down the topic for each of those Wednesday emails for the following month. Again, I'm not actually writing out the emails at this time, I'm just coming up with the topics so that I know what I'm gonna be writing about when I wake up on Wednesday mornings, and I'm also making sure, again, that the topics are in line with whatever my main goal is for the month. In line. I'm making sure it's in line. And then I also spend an entire day scheduling out all of my social media for the following month using SmarterQueue. Yes, that is right. I literally do a month's worth of social media posts in one day. Can I just say I have absolutely no idea how I survived before I discovered the magicalness that is social media schedulers. I was manually posting things every day on Facebook and on all my Facebook groups and trying to come up with topics every day and being like, oh my gosh, I need to post something on social media, I don't know what. By scheduling it out all in one day, I don't have to worry about any of that. And what I love about SmarterQueue, and no, this is not a sponsored video, I just legit love them. What I love about SmarterQueue is that you can recycle posts or create them as evergreen. So if I want a post to keep going out in my Facebook group, maybe once a week, it's the same prompt, I only have to create it once and then it keeps going out. Okay, so in case I haven't said this enough already, you want to make sure that all of your content is in line with whatever main goal you've set for yourself in your quarterly plan. Your blog posts, videos, podcasts, whichever ones of those you do, your emails, your social media posts, any lives that you do, they should all be tied back into that main goal you've got going on for the month. Moving on to step number 3 of planning a productive work schedule is step number 3, plan your week. And this is something that you do weekly. I know you're shocked, right? At the end of every single week, I usually do this at the end of the day on Friday, you want to sit down and plan out the following week in detail. And remember, at this point, you already know the main focus of the month because of your quarterly plan, and you already know what content you need to create because of the last step. So at this point, you are getting really detailed in your planning. You're looking at your calendar and you are literally blocking out set days and set times for making each and every teeny tiny action step happen. So when you are planning out your week, you want to do these 3 things. Number 1, you need to write down all of the small, specific, teeny tiny action steps that you need to complete and when. Literally assign them a day and a specific time. Thing number 2 is to pick certain days for certain type of tasks. So what I mean by this is I usually reserve Monday and Tuesdays for all of my content creation because at the beginning of the week, that is when my brain is feeling the most fresh. That is when I have the most creative juices flowing. So I make sure that all of my important brain-heavy content creating tasks are on Mondays and Tuesdays, whereas by the end of the week on Friday, I'm not as fresh. My brain is like short-circuiting. So I will reserve things like administrative tasks or things that I can kind of do on autopilot for the end of the week. So if you can, pick out which days you're gonna reserve for certain types of tasks. Think about when you're feeling the most fresh. Think about the times where you feel the most inspired, and then plan your schedule accordingly. And then number 3 thing when you're planning out your week is to time block each day. So for each day, you want to set blocks of time that you're going to be working on a particular thing. So for example, I usually reserve the first half of the day for the most brain intensive stuff, again, like content creation, because that's when I'm the most fresh. And then I'll do things that are more administrative, things I can do on autopilot with a lot less brain power. I'll reserve that for the second half of the day. But I am blocking out time chunks where I'm going to be working on one thing and one thing only. No multitasking. So for instance, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I might work on creating a video, and during that 2-hour time block I am doing nothing else. So block out your time, Guard it with everything you've got and do not let distractions or other tasks take over that dedicated time. Step number 4, plan and prioritize each day. And you guessed it, this is something that you need to do daily. So for example, at the end of every workday, the last thing that I do before I close up shop is that I review and prioritize my schedule for the following day. So at the end of every single workday, I take just a minute to review my schedule for the next day, and I do these 6 things. I carry over and reschedule any tasks that I might not have finished that definitely still need to get done at some point. I also ask myself, if I didn't get done today, is this something I really need to do at all? So sometimes I just straight up cut things. The second thing that I do is I make sure to prioritize the most important task for the next day. If I only get one thing done tomorrow, what is the one thing that takes the most importance? What is the one thing that is either the most time sensitive or is gonna grow my business the most? The third thing that I do is I make sure I know what the first thing is I'm gonna work on the next day. That way I can wake up and hit the ground running, as opposed to waking up and staring at my to-do list for 30 minutes wondering what I should work on first. The fourth thing that I do is I make sure to add any little last minute thing that might have popped up. So if something popped up that has got to be done tomorrow, I will add that in. The fifth thing that I do is I take a second to acknowledge how much butt I kicked that day. You have got to celebrate your wins. I'm talking your big wins, I'm talking your small wins. If you got out of bed that day, that is a win. And the final thing that I do before closing up shop is that I give my brain permission to relax and get out of work mode, because I know exactly what I need to do tomorrow. There is absolutely no point in continuing to think about it and continuing to go over my list. That's just gonna clog up my valuable mind space. So I give my brain permission to shut down. I will literally be like, okay brain, shut down, and I'll make the little sound. Try it, it's fun. And that's it. That is exactly how you plan a productive work schedule. So let's just do a quickie recap. Step number 1, you need to create your quarterly plan. This is something that you do every single quarter. Step number 2, you need to plan your content calendar for the following month. And this is something that you should do monthly at the end of every single month. Step number 3, you plan your week. This is something you do weekly. I like to do it on Fridays at the very end of the week. And step number 4, you plan and prioritize each day. This is something that you do daily. I prefer to do it at the end of each and every workday. That's the end! Yay! Oh my gosh, that video went by so fast. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit that cute little thumbs up button, because that really helps me out and it gives me the warm fuzzies. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you do not miss my weekly business growing videos. And lastly, please say hello in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions or tips when it comes to making your own work schedule. If you found something that works really well for you, I want to know it, so you should spread that productive scheduling love. And also, if you've got any questions about business planning and organization that you want me to answer, pop those below. Go plan your productive work schedule! Bye! And then you need to kind of start plugging them in to your Step number 2, plan your that to be baby boy, I need my purry. Got cat hair all over my mouth.